Hello, combat, and welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. In this video, we're looking at 10 decks of the week. We had an OTA this week, and other than Atuma, the patch was just kind of bad. As in, it didn't really shape much up, it just kind of nerfs, right? Beach kind of got nerfed, Loki got a buff slash nerf, depending on the deck. Kind of got a little bit better in Orishim, because you can play it on turn 1. But it's a weaker body, so it's not as strong in other decks. But then again, you can play it turn early, so it's probably more of a nerf than a buff, and that's meant to be a nerf, clearly, because the card was strong. And I can't really remember the rest of the patch. Taskmaster went to a 6, which I haven't played Taskmaster in, I don't know, probably a year, so it's a bit wild. Anyways, we're just going to show you some decks. And we're starting with Atuma. Like I said, this card got changed, and it's after each turn, destroy the card here with less power, one of your cards. Honestly, if it's straight to destroy, I did put a destroy video out yesterday. If you want to see one, I did crazy well with it. But this is a different one. This is kind of like a Galactus style one. Just kind of want to put this in. You've got the Shuri for the Nimrods, and then you get a Atuma and stuff like that. So I thought I'd try this one. Have a little look, share this one. A little different from the one I had, but it still looks decent enough. Next up, we have a Tribunal. Again, there's just not enough stuff in the game that stops Tribunal. I have had it on another list, so I'm not going to talk much about it. I think it was on last week's as well. It just, a bit of a sleeper deck, does what it wants. This card, still in a really good spot. Again, there's just not enough cards interacting with people right now, right? And it's kind of got a little bit better by the fact that you don't lose a card anymore by copycat, right? You're just copying it. Not that you can draw it most games, but if you do, pretty good knowing that you're not going to lose one of your cards. Next up, Zoo. The meta, like I said, the OTA hasn't changed much, right? The meta's still meta-ing. Well, a lot of these cards have been in all the meta videos I've done recently. So I'm going to quickly flicker through them. Surfer, again, just solid freeze, good card. It's got Wong to deal with Wong hazmat stuff, to deal with a Zoo and Destroy, because they kind of want a lot of cards on the board, right? If a Destroy player is going for some Nimrod shenanigans and you just keep lowering the power lower, then they're not that scary. And again, not enough cards dealing with you. There's not enough tech cards getting played right now, right? Outside of Shang-Chi, Shadow King needs to be played a hell of a lot more. Cosmo needs a buff. I just don't like playing the card, but I feel like he needs a buff because a lot of decks out here, the Cosmo could ruin. Next up, we have Negative. I believe this is a deck that got Taskmaster nerfed from a 5 to a 6 cost, something like this, which is a bit wild, but still the deck seems to be doing kind of fine, right? Because the idea is you're not actually going to play the Taskmaster most games, as a 5 or a 6 cost anyways. You're kind of hoping to hit it with Mr. Negative into a Jane Foster pullout, right? But you can play it if you want to. Oh god, what deck was that? That was 6. 7, moved it. I feel like Move's going to get a little bit stronger with a new symbiote season coming out, or whatever it's called, Amazing Spider-Man symbiote, whatever. I did react to the video last night, so that's on the channel if you want to see that, and we'll maybe do a look at the cards tomorrow or something like that. I'll see. Kind of busy this weekend, so trying to quickly fly through. Next up, we have a Phoenix Force. Phoenix Force, again, is one of these decks that you just don't interact with, right? As long as you draw your pieces, you're kind of good. Get your pieces out, draw them, and then you just kind of Phoenix Force across the board. Pretty hard to beat. We're not in this matter of just dropping big numbers, right? So Phoenix Force again comes in because if you get Phoenix Force down, you can kind of beat him. Oh god, what number was that? That was 8. Number 9, Haiva. This deck I just kind of added in here because it had the Hulks in here, right? Literally She-Hulk, Hulk, Scar, Emperor Hulkling. I just had to. It's just kind of all in here. You put it in the Haiva package so you can get away with skipping turns to get the She-Hulk out. Your Sunspot get bigger, so your Scar gets cheaper. Hulkling in here could be anything random, so it's pretty nice. And then the last deck is just going to be like this big 6-drop destroy type deck. It's been around for a little while. It just kind of performs well, right? You kind of just ramp into a 6-drop. Ideally, you're probably ramping into like a Ultron into Killmonger, and then you have a cheap null, right? Obviously, you don't want to ramp a cheap death and a big null. Obviously, you don't want to ramp with Electro into Ultron, unless you're gonna go into Destroyer, right? So you do one of them, but we don't even have Destroyer in this version. Okay, that's a bit okay. So you probably don't really care about the Ultron play. Yeah, Hulklin's replaced Destroy, which I don't actually like. Maybe you should have got rid of the Ultron. Yeah, but you got the Killmonger. Anyways, that's kind of the idea of it, right? You kind of play around the 6s, and you kind of get scary. It's okay. I feel like without the Destroy, it looks a little bit weaker than it was. Give you the 2 plays on the Ultron stuff. Anyways, that's it for the decks. Hope you enjoy it. Like as I said, the OTA didn't do much, right? Atuma's a big winner. Very interesting, great changes. We've got some exciting cards coming up with a new type of card with Activate next season, which we will talk about that at some point, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.